So today I'll be doing a video discussing Gon's mother revealed and why I believe that Gon's mother does come from the Dark Continent, and there is a lot of evidence supporting this theory. Now, when we look at Gon's character, we have to acknowledge the fact that he wasn't born on Whale Island. Yes, we know that Gon Freaks, he was not born on Whale Island and his birthplace is unknown. Yes, we know that Gon, when he was a baby, he was basically brought to Whale Island by Jing, and ever since then we know that the rest is history. That's when he was ended up being raised by Mito, and then we know that he obviously grew up to go on and take the hunter exams, and then so on and so forth. So we know that Gon, he did not originate on Whale Island. He was brought there by Jing. But the main thing about this situation is that we never knew about Gon's origins. Yes, we never knew where he came from. Jing never stated where he was prior to the whole Whale Island meeting, and that led a lot of people to believing, could Jing have been on the Dark Continent prior to him going to Whale Island? Now, we've seen Jing in the past. He has been hanging around a lot of spooky animals. Yes, I'm talking about animals that you would only see on the Dark Continent, like flying dragons, you know, big birds, any type of spooky animal that you can think of. Jing was chilling around with them. So that made a lot of people believe that Jing actually did have ties to the Dark Continent. But the thing about Gon is that we know that when he was first brought to Whale Island, he was an infant. Yes, he wasn't necessarily a baby. We saw he had hair on his head, so we know that he was pretty developed. He wasn't like a full-on toddler, but he was kind of like a child, you know, a little baby. But the main question is, does he have any type of recollections of his mother? Because we know that Gon, he doesn't really have any memories of her so much, but did he spend any time with her? That's the real question, because we know that Jing, he did take Gon away from her when he was pretty young. So this does raise the point to ask us, did Gon get to spend any time with his mother? Because I do think that that would have a huge influence on his character if he did. But the most important reason on why Gon's mother could actually be from the Dark Continent is because we know that Jing kept her a secret. Yes, Jing kept Gon's mother a secret for the longest of times, and we seen the only time he was going to reveal Gon's mother to him was once Gon was actually trained, once he actually was somewhat developed and learned how to use Nen. So we saw that Jing, he was only going to reveal Gon's mother, his own mom, to him. He was only going to reveal that to him once he became a lot stronger, and I think this was more evidence of Gon's mother being a monster. Yes, I do believe that Gon's mother was a monster, not a literal one, but just a crazy strong person from the Dark Continent, kind of similar to how Netero was. But the reason why Jing had to give up Gon was because he did not want to raise Gon around that woman. Yes, I do believe that is the reason why, because she was crazy strong. I believe that Gon's mother, she is a lot similar to how Gon is, whereas Gon, he just wants to go out and have a good adventure. I think that that is how Gon's mother is, and I do believe that she was actually born on the Dark Continent, due to the fact that we know that Dawn Freaks is from the Dark Continent. Yes, Dawn Freaks is from the Dark Continent, and it's not too far-fetched to believe that there would be more Freaks members, family members on the Dark Continent, since we know of Dawn's whereabouts being there. So who's not to say that his mother didn't originate from the Dark Continent? She could have met Jing, because obviously we knew that Jing, he was a high-class world hunter. You know, he was allowed pretty much access anywhere around the world. So during Jing's expedition of basically becoming one of the best archaeologist hunters, I do believe that that is where he did meet Gon's mother, and they actually did end up having Gon on the Dark Continent. Yes, I do believe that Gon's birthplace is the Dark Continent, but due to the Dark Continent obviously being such a wild and crazy place, they had to bring Gon away from there so that he could finally grow up on Whale Island. But that's basically it for this little video discussing the possibility of Gon's mother being from the Dark Continent. And I do think it does make a lot of sense, because this would explain why Gon is such a crazy OP son of a god. Comment what you guys see down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.